Hi, this is Sanjay Gangal from GISCafe. I'm here with Danny Petrecca, VP of Business Development at Locusview. Hello, Danny.
Hey, Sanjay, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for joining us, Danny. Tell us about Locusview.
So Locusview is a company that's was founded in 2014, and our focus is really around an area we've pioneered called digital construction management. We'll get into that more in the interview, but it's really about a very pervasive problem at utilities and telecoms throughout the world, but it's a very difficult problem to solve, and it's about how do you digitize construction crew workers in order to get as-built and construction information from the field back to the systems of record in a timely fashion, considering all the construction activities that's going on throughout the world in these markets.
Tell me a little bit more about the problem you're trying to solve first. I believe there are a lot of different companies in the market, but I want to understand your take on it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. A lot of people ask that same question, and the problem is what you see here is typically at utilities, the design and engineering, the construction execution, and the closeout process. Utilities feel it's fairly digitized, but what you have is utilities spending a lot of money on digital engineering, graphic work design solutions on the left side of this equation. Digital GIS, obviously GISCafe, you know all the millions and millions of dollars utilities and telecoms spend on their system of record being in GIS. Electric utilities specifically spend 10 times more than that on the operational side of digital utilities, meaning ADMS and DER. And then there's the other enterprise systems, lots of digitization. So utilities feel that they're fairly digital, but when a design is sent out to the field, it's still sent out in paper. So a crew has a piece of paper map. They go out in the field. It has the instructions of what they have to build, where to put their poles, where to run the fiber, where to dig the trench for the gas pipes. And then it's a very inefficient process. Papers are in folders. They get lost. They get marked up. They get stained. The foreman of the construction crew is typically tasked with recording what is typically known as an as-built. And what we find happens is, the designs that are sent in the field, they're never constructed as designed. There are always changes to the designs in the field for good reason, but they're not well documented. So the as-built foreman in the field end up doing what we call hitting the easy button. They basically say, yeah, we built it pretty much how you designed it, Mr. or Mrs. Engineer. So we'll just check the box that we built it as designed, and we'll send it off to GIS. So a couple problems happen there. One is you're not ending up with a true system of record represented into the GIS. You're actually getting a representation of your designs in the GIS. And that causes lots of problems, from risk, from safety, from asset management, and the traditional financial and asset-based drivers from utilities. But it goes much further than that. When the GIS team now 1 month, 2 months, 3 months later receives that as-built paper packet from the contractor crew or the construction crew, and these are true numbers. We've spoken to utilities that 30 to 60 to 90 days is a typical time it takes to get as-built paper packets back from the field. GIS then has to manually redigitize this information into their GIS. And what they're digitizing is really the design. It's not a true representation of what was built in the field. So the time it takes records to be updated in the system of record is just too long. And traditionally, utilities may have said, well, you know what? The way we do it today is just fine. We have electrons and gas and lasers running through our infrastructure. Our customers are happy. Why do we need to speed that up? Well, there are a few main drivers here that are kicking that up. First of all, the overall increase in construction globally in critical infrastructure is increasing drastically. On the electric side, the big drivers are what used to be called smart grid, which isn't a term I really like, but distributed energy management, where distributed energy resources, where you need an ADMS or a digital brain to run the real-time grid model. That requires much more data than the financial, the GIS teams have dealt with in the past. On top of that, you have grid modernization, you have grid hardening, wildfire prevention, all driving more construction and electric. On the telecom side, very soon, or if it hasn't passed yet, there's huge growth in broadband demand and a lot of federal stimulus going into rural broadband hookups here in the US, and it's been a trend going on globally. So much more construction going on in the telecom industry. And again, that's a very competitive industry. So once they put fiber in the ground and it's lit, they want to know the day that they can sell it to their subscribers to realize the revenue on their investment. And then on the gas distribution side, it's really about safety, risk, and compliance with, here in the US, the PHMSA mega rule around tracking and traceability, about where have you placed your plastic assets, where are they located to very high accuracy GPS, who welded the pipes together, who fused that T, all the tracking and tracing. This all is making this legacy paper-driven workflow, its days are numbered. Really, utilities can't continue to do this with all the drivers going out there begging them to complete a digital workflow from design to construction execution all the way to system of record.
And what is Locusview's solution?
Thank you for asking. So what we do is we take that middle piece, which is typically a paper packet, and we digitize the construction crews. And the way we do that is by bringing in the information from the work generating systems. It's typically work management or graphic work design. We're bringing in, instead of a paper packet, we're bringing into our solution a digital job packet, which includes the bill of materials, the compatible units, the design sketch. This application can be a single repository for all the documents that crew needs out in the field to perform their work, including permits, applications, and things like that, right of way, you name it. They then use this application. So the main aspect is a mobile application, works on Android, Windows, iOS. Tablets and smartphones are the typical form factor. For Windows, some people like to use the laptops in the field as well. They then use this mobile application, which I know many people are going to say it's just another mobile GIS application, but I'll come back to that. They use that to collect their as-built information, to collect the high accuracy GPS location of all their assets, to collect automated material reconciliation information, and any other forms-based information that goes along with the job, such as operator qualifications, tailgate safety checks, PPE checks, and then going even further and making sure that the construction crew only collects the data they need when they need it within the workflow. So while that's happening in the field, the web component of Locusview allows the supervisors and construction managers to visualize and see the progress of construction in real time. So this is a great thing for operational planning, for crew management, and for revenue realization. But it also ensures that the crews in the field collect all the data that's needed before they demobilize, before they throw that last shovel of dirt on the trench, when it is almost impossible to go back and collect accurate data. What we do from there is we update directly through integration the GIS and the work and asset management systems, improving that closeout time. So closeout that used to take 30, 60, 90 days, we're taking from days and weeks and months down to hours. Where an automatic GIS update with the GIS team getting their data, an automatic work and asset management closeout with material reconciliation, all done automatically. And it's not just the software piece, which is, it's obviously native applications on iOS and Android and Windows and a cloud-based web application. But we have a full solution that includes all the hardware that's needed to do this, from ruggedized tablets, ruggedized barcode scanners for the gas tracking and traceability, which is the ASTM standard, the high accuracy GPS units. They all come pre-packaged and pre-integrated into our solution. So there's no need for utilities to have to spin up resources to know how to fix an RTK base station or how to do Bluetooth connectivity between Android and a GPS receiver. So it's really that full solution that sits in the middle. So we like to say we bridge that gap between design engineering and closeout. We remove paper from this entire workflow.
And is your solution a product based solution? Are you selling product, or are you selling products and services together?
We are a software company, so it is a full product solution that you purchase from us. Just like any other software vendor, we provide implementation services around our products, training, technical support, all that that goes along with the typical software application. But back to the point I made before that I said I'd come back to. A lot of people out there say, well, I can just do this with paper and be fine, or I do this with my asset management mobile app or a mobile GIS app. What we found is that, or a mobile design application, right, to do the as-builting. What we find is that what we've mastered, because of the DNA of where our company came from, we've really mastered matching the UI and UX of our application to the workflow out in the field and to the construction crew persona. So when we built this application, we came out of the Gas Technology Institute, where we were tasked with building next generation digital construction solutions for the energy industry. And we developed it with GTI and with the industry and utilities using an R&D mindset. So we weren't a solution looking for a problem. We built the solution for a problem with the people who use it in the field. So I know it's strange to hear someone say the UI and UX of our application is so clean and effective and simple that it is a differentiator, but that's really what we see. I've spent 20 years trying to sell digital applications to construction workers in the field and to utility mobile crews. They always reject it because it's just too complicated and it doesn't fit their persona. We solve that by the UI UX we have and the workflow-based mobile-first mentality that drives us as a company.
Okay, and Locusview, as you said, was founded in 2014. How many people do you have now?
We're about 140 and growing, and I say about because we are growing rapidly. When I joined, we were about 80 or 90 people 2 years ago. So we're growing quickly. We have offices in North America, mainly based out of Chicago. That's where our product, professional services, and management team is. And then in Tel Aviv is the other half of Locusview, which is mainly our development product management. I'm sorry, our R&D development, product management, and other corporate support there as well.
And do you sell primarily in USA, North America, or do you sell worldwide?
We sell worldwide. We are strategically growing in areas like Asia Pacific, ANZ, Europe, Latin America. But our stronghold right now and our main market share here is in the US. We have half of the 20 largest utilities in the US using our application here, and over 5,000 crews every day using our application. The other interesting fact about that 5,000 crew number is that it's not just utility crews. More than half of them are contractor crews. That's another problem that a lot of other applications have a hard time solving, is how do you provision a license to a contractor? How do you make it secure, and how do you make it easy enough to use? And again, we've solved that. We have 2,500 or more contract crews using this on a daily basis.
And what is the best way for our audience to find out more about Locusview on the internet?
Well, obviously the website, locusview.com, LOCUSVIEW. I'm sure you're going to put it on the screen, locusview.com. The typical social media. So we're on LinkedIn. You can follow me on LinkedIn at Petrecca. And on Twitter, there are both Locusview and my own personas within Twitter and LinkedIn. But we're very active on the events scene as well. So obviously we're an Esri partner. So we always support the Esri industry events. You know, we just did the Esri user conference back in July. It was virtual. We'll be attending the Esri IMGIS conference coming up in October, which thankfully it looks like that one has gone live. So it's going to be an in-person event in Palm Springs. We're excited to go back and reconnect with all our Esri colleagues and all the partners and customers that go to that excellent event. So the IMGIS conference will also be at the AGA conference in Florida. It's also, I believe that's in September. And then, looking to next year, Distributech is a key market event for us, again, focusing on the electric utility space. And then we also have a telecom conference. We finished up with Fiber Connect a couple weeks ago in Nashville, but we'll be at the ISE Expo in Fort Worth at the end of this month. So very active, very good to see events starting to go live again. So we're out there making the market for Locusview.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So is it okay, Danny, if I ask you a couple of personal questions?
Sure.
So Danny, what do you do for fun outside work, or what is your personal passion?
Great question. So here in Colorado, we're very lucky that we have lots of sunshine all year. So I like to be outside a lot. So whether it's mountain biking or gravel biking, hiking, I also play lacrosse, which is a very popular growing sport in the U.S. So as an older person, it's a good thing to stay fit and to stay active. I have a family, 2 kids, wife, dog. And I like to play guitar. So, when time allows it, I love to take advantage of the leisure and the outdoor space here in Colorado.
And what are some of your favorite outdoor spaces in Colorado where you do your biking, hiking, and stuff?
Well, I'm here in Fort Collins, and I am probably 4 miles from about 100 miles of mountain biking and hiking trails, which are just some of the best in northern Colorado. We just took a trip up to Rocky Mountain National Park, so Estes Park and Grand Lake. So the mountains are always call to me, and Rocky Mountain National Park, if people have not been there, please go. And also a lot of that will support a lot of the fire damage that happened in Colorado last year, bringing tourism back and getting the restoration of the fire scars would be a really, really great thing.
Okay. And Danny, can you also tell us something about yourself that most people at Locusview who work with you don't know about you?
Wow. I almost told you everything. I'm not really sure. Maybe that I've been to over 60 countries in the world throughout all of my travels during business. Wow. So that's a pretty unique thing. Not everybody gets to do that. And while it's hard on your personal life, it's very rewarding to see the world from a different perspective and to work in it.
Wow, 60 countries, that's a lot. Which has been some of your favorite countries?
I've always loved Thailand. I've been there a couple times and it was great. The Middle East is always very interesting because it's so different from the basis here in the US. And then obviously in Europe, all over Europe. I'm Italian, so I love Italy, and that's always where my heart goes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Danny, for taking time to record this interview. Have a great day and stay safe.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot.
Okay. This is Sanjay Gangal from GISCafe.